Okay, everybody, welcome to Live with LaRisa. I'm so happy to have everyone. We're here with Ruth Camarillo-Smith. She is running for Councilwoman Place 1. And we're here in the bridal room at the Rialto Theater. And we want to thank Steve and Lulu for hosting us and for giving us these wonderful orange mango spritzers. They're really good and some incredible coffee, so thank you again. We're also, they are also having a Easter egg hunt, a free one, today. It's going to be from 1 to 2 for toddlers age 6, for toddlers to age 6, and then for kids from 7 to 12 years old, it's going to be from 3 to 4. So the event is going to include door prizes. And if you are able, they are also asking for a toy donation for their holiday toy drive. So go ahead and come by today. It's going to be really great. I just got a sneak peek and it looks so fun. If I had some kiddos, I would definitely bring them here. Sorry. And so we'll go ahead and get started. So thank you again, Ruth, for coming today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, I also wanted to thank Ruben for live streaming.
Thank you, Ruben.
Thank you, Ruben. He's the best. So we'll get into it with Ruth. So tell me, Ruth, tell me about yourself. You have a husband, you have kids.
I do. I'm married and I have 3 kids, all grown. My baby's graduating May 23rd. Really excited for her. All my kids are great. They're very strong individuals. They are very independent. You know, I raised some strong-willed kiddos and I love it. I have 7 grandkids.
Wow.
I have another. I'm a Gigi.
Well,
yeah,
they call
me Gigi.
I love that.
And I have another on the way. She'll be here. She'll be here in July. So that'll be 7 girls and 1 boy.
Wow.
So we got a lot of girls in the house. So,
Hey, that's
yeah.
wonderful.
They're amazing. They like to run around and do girly things
I
and
love it. Love girls.
hoop and holler, and it's great in our house. It's a little chaotic sometimes, but it's great.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
You have any pets?
We do. We have 3 dogs. One's kind of a mix, and then the treasures are our little Bostons, Oakley, Costa, and Zeke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
With the sunglasses.
Yes.
I love that.
And Costa like the sunglasses.
Oh, Costa. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So we got sunglasses here. Nice. So what do you do now? What do you do for work?
So I full-time, my 8 to 5 is I work at Driscoll. I work at Driscoll full-time. I've been there since 2013. I started in the bedside there. Did case management too after I transitioned out of the bedside. And more recently I have like an administrative role. So I work very closely with Texas Medicaid. I go into people's homes and do assessments of our members. It's a really thorough assessment. Sometimes the assessment can take up to 3 days, so I work with families very closely to make sure they have the appropriate resources, that they're getting everything that they need, that Medicaid requires. We get audited, so everything has to be T's crossed, I's dotted. Things have to be very thorough for our assessments. We submit those to the state, and the state either accepts them or denies them, and that's how our managed care plan is evaluated.
Nice. Wow.
And I also own a business. It's a barber shop, and yeah, my son is the manager. It's more because he's a barber. He's an excellent barber, and it's a way for him to have something for himself and his family and provide for all his kiddos in Portland.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Headliners Barber Lounge.
Headliners.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
Very
Yes.
cool. Love that. So, do you do any community service?
I do. I pretty much I will volunteer in like Trippery. Did the Party Gras here, and I've come and helped Lulu at the Rialto a couple of times. I do things with Driscoll as well. Yeah, I'm helping today with the Easter egg hunt for the Rialto, and I do other things volunteer-wise. I do things with the communities and the schools. Project Graduation has been a huge one for my daughter. I was like, that's like a lot of work.
Yeah. It is.
I recently sought out some funds from Driscoll for both project graduations in Ingleside and Aransas Pass, and it looks like those are going to move forward and they're going to be sponsors for both. And that's the first time that the Driscoll Health Plan has donated to project graduation, so I'm real excited about it.
That is exciting.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I hope we continue and can continue it every year.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. So do you go to church anywhere around here?
I do. I go to Crossroads.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I go to Crossroads Church. On and off, I was going for a couple of years. I go with my best friend, Bea. If you're watching this, Bea. She kind of got me going, and then more recently, I've just been attending every Sunday. I think it's important because for our faith and family, and sometimes you just need time to like give to the Lord because you just go and go and go and go and go, and it's like nonstop. You get physically, emotionally tired, and it's really nice to have that time with just spending it with God.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
couldn't
it's
agree more.
Easter Eve, so happy Easter Eve.
He's risen. Amen. Cool. So do you have anything currently going on? It was the project graduation.
Project graduation is a big one. I've been busy also. My son's getting married.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. On my 50th,
Oh,
which
wow.
is coming up Saturday.
Oh,
So I'll be 50 years old.
you're busy.
I am busy. Yep. And then of course the campaigning. I've just been giving it everything I have. I'm making time, and that's what I think is important. I want to make time for this because it's so important that I want to focus on it and make sure I'm giving it my all.
Absolutely. Dedication.
Yes.
Dedication.
100%.
Love it. 110. It
Yep.
sounds like it to me. So tell us, again, for the first time viewers who weren't there for the Q&A, so let us know what your qualifications are for the role that you want to pursue.
Okay. First, I would like to say that I have lots of experience as a leader. I have been a manager, director. I have been in charge of a staff of 85, many of those with accelerated degrees or higher degrees than what I held. So it was always, and if you know anything about the healthcare and the profession, it's very complex. So there's so many moving parts and things going on. I have led the transport team, which was also an important aspect when I was a manager. I've ridden in the back of an ambulance. I've flown in helicopters.
That's insane.
I've been head or leading steering committees, leadership committees, high-risk committees. On top of that, I have the business experience with our business that we have. I'm able to direct and have that leadership experience. Owning a business is not an easy thing to have. And I feel like my participation over the years in the council meeting, also just going and observing, because a big part of it is just learning. So observing the council meetings, and that has just kind of pushed me forward. I haven't seen enough progress in Aransas, and that's what really is my drive. Is I'm tired of seeing everything else come up around us, and we're just there. And so that's my drive, and that's why I'm doing this.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. So I know we talked about something that you wanted to touch on. It's called like youth groups.
Yes.
Or some type of youth groups.
Yes, so mentorship for our youth is really important. Recently, I had a meeting with the healthcare CEO who is also involved with CCISD. So,
The healthcare CEO
of OmniStaff.
Oh, OmniStaff. Okay,
Yes.
got it.
And he is heavily involved with the group programs there. And so they have like mentorship. They have students come and shadow healthcare professionals. I think that's important, especially when if you're a young teenager and you don't know which route you're going to take. So getting to see that healthcare is just not a nurse or a doctor. You can choose radiology, you can choose lab, you can choose phlebotomy, you can choose going into an administrative role like what I do now. It takes a lot of pieces. You can choose speech therapist, respiratory therapist, physical therapy. There are so many avenues you can choose, and if we are able to get our youth involved early, I think it's really important. not just in the healthcare aspect, but also in our emergency preparedness, like getting young firefighters, started. Like, let's do the training programs here. Let's get them in schools and say, hey, you want to do this? You want to be a firefighter? You want to be a police officer? These are things that communities need.
Right.
And I know they do some already. My plan is to take it a step above. I think
Do you
it's
know,
important.
do you have any kind of connections to already
I do.
get into that?
I do. I have some connections. I have been networking and meeting with various individuals who want to do it.
Okay.
They're excited to help bring those programs here and do it for our youth. And one of the things I notice is our youth don't have jobs here. There's a few.
The
Yes, the youth. Yes, the youth do not have jobs. There's a few. Now Quick Quack, you see them out there, and I'm rooting for them all the
I just went
time.
yesterday,
Yeah.
and I saw all of these young people around.
I love it.
One
One came up and knocked on my door, was like, will you fill out the survey? I said, yes, let me tell them how good you're doing. So I think it's really good just encouraging them.
Yes.
I know that in 2021, I did the Adopt a Future Nurse program, and we gave out 13 scholarships to local youth, and 5 of them were from Aransas Pass High School.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I had actually one parent tell me, that's the reason I'm voting for you. Because you did this before you even thought about running for council. You did this for our kids. And my daughter is better for that scholarship that she got. And it was created by me, but it took everybody. We have a huge group of nurses that, did that. And that is something, maybe I could revamp, especially if I get elected, that, we could do it again.
Absolutely.
And other scholarships here in our community, I think, would be important. If we do get this urgent care, if we do get a healthcare facility here, getting them to give back to our youth, not just mentorship and shadowing, but let's have some kids benefit from this as well and get some scholarships from local organizations.
Okay, excellent. Well, that drives right into my next question. So, healthcare is something that's really important to you as a nurse, and you have passionately talked about how you want to bring more of that into Aransas Pass. So how is it that you want to bring more healthcare opportunities to Aransas Pass?
So I think it's important that we remember that Aransas Pass used to have a lot of healthcare avenues. We used to have a nursing home. We used to have a hospital. We used to have medical arts clinic. We used to have Jerry's Pharmacy. We used to have a podiatrist. We used to have an ENT. And multiple primary care physician offices, not just 1 or 2. And it's been 8 years.
Since any of them?
It's been 8 years since Hurricane Harvey.
Okay.
And 7 when Care Regional closed. And slowly things just started shutting down. And in all those years, there was no real efforts done to bring healthcare back to Aransas Pass. We missed opportunities for grants. We missed opportunities to just bring those services back to the people. So, like, I have an elderly neighbor who I've talked about before. He tells me, he's like, I've had to rush to the ER twice already, to Rockport. He goes, if you can bring an urgent care here or an ER, that would be huge, because we have to remember our elderly are here and they don't have any services. They're having to drive to Rockport, Portland. Our youth too, they're having to go, out to Driscoll. There are some more. Amistad is doing a great job with our care here. Hopefully, if elected, I can help that expand. They currently don't have funding secured for that facility, so that's one avenue that I want to really take off with and help with. I had a meeting and a walkthrough, and I would love to get a clinic like that here. They have a lab, they have a pharmacy. They have the women's health services. They have the kids, the adults, our seniors. That's just a huge thing. And speaking with their CEO, he says right now the more expensive service is the radiology department, because it costs a lot of money to bring those that type of equipment and that type of that type of room that needs to be built for radiology services. But that's something that could be built out maybe towards the future,
Right. Just get started.
And I think that it's gone on deaf ears. Until recently, where desperate attempts have been made to try to get those services here last minute, they've had years. In my opinion, they've had years to do it. It's not being done, and it's time. It's time to get Aransas Pass healthy. Not just for when you're sick, but what about preventative health care? Aransas Pass has a high prevalence of obesity, diabetes, hypertension. There's a lot that can be done for preventative care and just getting this city healthy. My ultimate goal is to get the city healthy. We need those services. We need preventative health care. We need all of that to come back. The healthcare event that they had at the Civic Center was great. Like, I loved it. I wanted to see.
When was that?
It was right before they decorated for St. Patty's Day.
Right, the health fair.
The health fair.
Yes, shout out to, oh man, who was it that ran that? It is Tasha. Hey Tasha, I hope that you're watching because you do an excellent job.
Yes.
I think I've been to one and that was really great. So you're doing a great job with those health fairs.
Yes, it's really great. Yes, I would love to. I already spoke with our marketing team. I would love to get Driscoll over here on the next one. That would be amazing to have him here. An avenue for the kids too, and maybe bouncy houses or something out there for kids. But I think it's just so important. It was really nice walking into that health fair and just seeing so many familiar faces. And that's what I've been able to, is the networking aspect. With my 24 years of experience in healthcare, I know a lot of people. So if it's something that I can't make happen, I know who to reach out to that can make it happen.
Right.
And I've already had doctors reaching out to me and saying, hey, what's going on in Aransas? I hear you talking about healthcare. Mm-hmm. Like, what do y'all need over there? Because it hasn't been a focus for Aransas for so long. And it's time for it to be a focus. We need to quit letting all these other surrounding towns thrive and Aransas Pass just stays the same and stagnant.
Right. So I hear your passion, and that is so appreciated, and that's absolutely needed, and especially in healthcare for Aransas Pass. But I do have one question.
Sure.
If you are not elected, would you be willing to be moving forward with all of those plans if we were to just help out without?
If not elected, I definitely help out. Healthcare is my thing.
Yeah.
I could be still involved with the healthcare. I would still do things like that. But there are things that being elected, there are certain avenues that it requires me to be in that position.
Right.
Because I can say, I want to do this and I want to do that, but until you're in that place where you have the ability to make it happen, then it would be difficult. But I would still be involved in what I could be involved in, for sure, 100%.
That was my big one.
Yeah.
Like, I would hate to lose you if anything were to happen, but man, that's really good to know. So, if you had $5 million, what would you want to do in your community right now?
Well, I think I've spoken about this before. The streets are very, they need help in Aransas Pass. Learning that those monies were removed out of the budget and not a single city street was fixed in Aransas Pass over the past year, it does a disservice to our community. You can drive down almost any street in Aransas and there's big potholes, and you're worried about if the little ding on your windshield is going to be like crack all of a sudden because we're not taking care of our streets, of our community. And I mean, a big portion of that would be streets.
Right.
Probably starting with 13th Street. I drive down that street every day and I'm like, this street is awful.
Yeah.
It's really bad. And probably the next one would be helping our firefighters because they need working equipment. I was at a city council meeting where I heard, the fire chief say, our equipment is not working. It's not functioning for us. It's been in the shop multiple times. I asked him after the council meeting, is it a lemon? Because you just keep saying it's in the shop, it's in the shop. And then I drive by and see Portland's fire trucks here because they're having to borrow. And I don't want our city to have to do that.
Right.
They need working equipment. That's a big thing. Another issue that's come up are the abandoned buildings along Wheeler and Commercial. Those buildings look awful. I know you have to follow city charter, which I've been reading, but also you have to look at the legality portion of it when it comes to state law. So maybe working with our city attorney and getting those buildings demolished to start improving Aransas Pass and start making it look better would be another avenue that, that $5 million could stretch and use for.
Perfect. That's really cool. I didn't even think about the abandoned buildings. We do have quite a few.
We do have quite a few.
Yeah.
And they're eyesores. They're really bad eyesores.
Yeah. I was just driving in the other day and I was like, man.
I know.
That side over here.
It looks bad.
It does. We'll see. I'm sure that we are already working on
I think
it.
everybody's on board with we need to fix these. Make the appearance of Aransas just brighter and, boom. We need some new businesses here too.
We do. We sure do. So tell me, what was your ultimate why moment? Like, what
My
this
aha?
is it. Yeah, what is your aha? We're gonna bring Oprah in. What was your aha moment? You're like, this is it. I'm gonna run. I'm tired of this. Let's do it.
I would say after a city council meeting. I attended a city council meeting where there was a lot of discourse. There was no unity. There was division. You could tell that there was no love for the city. You could tell, and from some, it was almost like there was just self-interest. And I was like, why aren't these people working for the community? Their constituents, the people that elected them. That's so important. And so I was driving home and I looked at that big, beautiful panther on the water tower. And I said, that's what we are. We're a fierce people and we need to take our city back. It needs to be about Aransas Pass again. There's a lot of power in that, and it's just a water tower, right, with a panther, but if you really look at it, it's a panther tearing through the old and bringing out the new. Let's bring in the new, let's bring in the change. I ask that you give me an opportunity, and let me work. If you've seen me work hard for this campaign, imagine what I'll do once elected. If anybody that knows me, they're like, Ruth, how do you do all this? I'm like, it has to be done. Somebody has to do it.
Do you sleep?
And sometimes.
Every once in a while.
Sometimes.
Take a little nap.
A couple hours a night, don't do much. But I think my aha moment was looking at that panther, just stopping and taking it in and saying, Aransas Pass needs to take it out. Like we need representation that's for the people.
I hear you. I love that. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. So I do have a couple more questions.
Okay.
One more. Oh, let's see. I have one that I've been wanting to ask.
Okay.
So, what is like your walk-up song? Like you walk into a room and you're like, oh yeah, this is the one. I want everyone to know it.
Oh my goodness, my walk-up song. I'm gonna say "Unstoppable" by Sia.
Okay.
It is a really powerful song, and we can be unstoppable together.
Okay.
Like all of us can be unstoppable together. We can just move forward, and we can do all of these things that we talk about. It's time to stop talking about things and start doing. A picture's worth 1,000 words. You can say, I want to do this or I want to do that, but what are you doing to make that progress?
Right.
So unstoppable. Let's be unstoppable together and let's just move the city forward.
Yeah.
And yep, that's it. Would you please sing it? Because I tried to sing it.
I don't really know the lyrics. I just know that.
Yeah, that's good. Will you please sing it? Because I tried to sing it and my husband was like, just sing it.
I'm unstoppable today.
Yes,
That's all.
I'm unstoppable today. Yes, that's how it goes.
That's it. That's all I
But
know.
my husband told me don't sing it. So okay.
Well, there you have it, folks. I think it's Sia.
Is it Sia?
Honestly, I don't know. Is it Sia? I don't know. But it's a good song.
Yeah.
I love
It's
that.
SIA.
Yeah, how do you even say that? Sia. Okay.
Yeah.
Something like that. So last question, Travis.
Okay.
How do you think this race has impacted you so far?
I think it's going well.
Yeah.
I think it's going well. One of the things that if you know me, I'm a straight shooter. So I don't dance around the answers. You're going to get a real answer with me.
Right.
And it's not always what you want to hear. Because I'm not going to say something you don't want to, just to get a vote.
Right.
Just because this is what you should say. I'm just going to be honest. And if you know me, I'm an honest person. I'm a straight shooter. And that's just the type of person I am. If elected, that's the same type of leader I'm gonna be. You're not gonna have to worry about, is she just saying this to get a vote? Because no.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you the truth, the good, honest truth. And that's what I think Aransas Pass needs. No more broken promises, no more false promises. We need to just move the city forward, and this is what's happening, and this is what we need to do, and let's just bring the city together and move forward.
All right, nice. Cheers to that.
Yes.
Thank you, Lou,
Yes.
for you. I just
Thank
love
you,
to
Lou.
cheers like this. We're gonna have to add the champagne later.
Yes.
All right, folks. Well, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank you, Ruth. For
Yes,
being
thank
with
you.
us.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much, Ruben.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank
you're
you,
very
Ruben,
welcome.
from FYI for
Right.
live streaming. Thank you so much to Stephen and Lou at
Thank
the
you.
Rialto.
Yes.
Y'all are awesome. Always ready
Next
to
week
help.
also, we're gonna have Ram and
Yes, next week we will be featuring Jason and Ram for their individual interviews, so stay tuned for those.
Lulu.
And Luana will be the week after, so we're very excited for those. Or that same week.
Thursday.
That Thursday, that's it, excuse me. So stay tuned for everything. Keep watching, look
Tell
at
your
my
friends,
page.
tell your friends,
Yes,
please.
tell your friends. We're really excited. Thank you for our viewers. And we will see y'all soon.
Thank you, everybody. I
Bye.
appreciate it.
Thank you.